Welcome to the ITM Podcast.
This is episode 367 of the ITM Podcast, the official Boston Red Sox podcast of and the Boston Red Sox. You know, they almost played a full series against the New York Yankees. Scott, how you doing?
Good. I think we I don't know if you remember this, but we nailed a prediction that was almost impossible.
What did we say?
Before this 3-game series, we both predicted series splits.
Oh, yeah.
And we somehow got that right. With no projected forecast in mind. That wasn't even supposed to happen.
Yeah. I feel like pushing this third game to August is enough to say, like, it's not the same series anymore. I know that we did that. We changed.
Yeah.
That's going back on our own word from like a couple weeks ago. I don't care.
Yep. Well, that was because last time we were doing it. Wow. Oh my God. Nightmare. That was because last time it helped our argument. And this time we're changing it again because once again, it would help our argument.
Well, yeah, this way it works. This way it benefits us.
Yeah.
For those keeping score at home, we're playing both sides so that we always come out on top.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. Let's just say there's a lot of people out there talking about how bad prediction markets are. And like, I would never sign a poly market, a Kalshi deal, whatever that thing is called. You give us a price, we'll do it. We'll say whatever into a mic. And in the last scenario, yeah. I mean, that's basically what we're trying to say.
Free, man.
Yeah. Can you, hey, you mind doing the show, Joey?
Yeah, I was just giving you a sec. Because the picture's falling, dude. It looks like shit. I can't do that.
No, that looks
behind me.
That looks good.
Oh, my God.
But we wouldn't want one of us to have a bad background. I'll give you that.
It's a bad... yeah, listen. If there's one thing this show is known for, it's good backgrounds. And I don't want to start changing that. Welcome in, everyone. Sox, huh? How about them?
Felt good the first game.
Second game, well, game 3. Well, yeah, I guess let's start with the first one. Red Sox on the road do just look like a different team. They play baseball correctly. They're defensively sound. They pass the baton. They look like a fucking baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
Life? Did you say life?
Yeah, like offensively.
They have life, yeah. They can swing the bat. They can hit the bat to the ball. They can do that when they're on the road. So shout out Izzy for just nailing that one. Do you think that like the how slow and uncrowded Yankee Stadium is really got them to be a closer knit group?
Yeah, I mean they just don't want distractions. So obviously, when you go into Yankee Stadium in a Boston uniform, that's just like you can just kind of forget the outside noise. It's very easy to just kind of just focus on what's going on in the field. There's not really much going on around you.
Right? Yeah, you can finally lock in.
Exactly.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on there, but yeah, no, they look like an entirely different team on the road versus at home. It's weird though because like the way this series kind of played out is that game 1 they inspired that feeling. They inspired they do look different on the road. Maybe they just need something to get going. At least the offense is back kind of feeling. And then you have one off day and they come back and they look lifeless offensively again. And I mean, I understand it's Cam Schlittler.
Yeah.
That's really all it takes to trick the brain into saying, the bats are asleep. This team isn't built to win. They don't have the offense. It brings you right back to it. It's hard to not like get sucked into that way of thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is crazy with this team, the way they're playing right now, where it's like they win 1 or 2 games in a row and you start to feel like you're having fun with it. And then they, like, if they lose one game, You immediately, it's the negativity comes back so fast, and it's because his team. I mean, they're 8 games under 500 or whatever they are. 9 now after this one, I think.
Can I tell you why? Because I think I know the answer as to
Yeah, go ahead.
why this is. The people, myself included, desperately want this team to tell us who they are. Just tell us. If you guys are good, show us you're good. If you guys suck and you're not worth watching, you're not worth caring about, tell us that. But it's been 6 goddamn years of going, are they worth it? Are they? We're not sure. We don't really know. Are they good? Are they good? Are they a postseason team? We don't. Maybe if they could they buy at the deadline. You don't know who they are when you live in that fucking middle ground. Like, yeah, you're gonna have people demanding and overreacting to 1 or 2 wins because they just want to know if you're good or not.
Well, I think what's tough is your belief system is that they are good on paper, and that's why you overreact to wins. The team have showed you from a win-loss perspective, they've shown you pretty clearly that they're not a good team. Like, I don't really think it's been it hasn't. It's not even close to a 500 team. It's not close to a winning team. But I think what's tricky is on paper, you shouldn't be this bad with the pitching staff you have.
Yeah,
Guys like Jarren Duran should. I mean, he had one great month, one bad month. But I mean, like, you look at the lineup, they should be mid, not horrible. You know, like, there's guys that are underperforming. And it's just like the paper doesn't match what's happening in real time, which is probably why Craig's having a tough time leading the ship because he's a big, what are they on paper guy.
Yeah, I mean, in the same breath though, like they're also, it's not just what they are on paper; it's where they're in the standings. Like, they're 4 games back in the wild card now, which is starting to feel like it has some weight to it, but not really. It's 4 games. They're 4 games back.
Sure.
So, like, on top of like they're not abysmal. They don't look like shit. And the thing is, it's not like they have the personnel that makes you go, oh, like they just don't have it. Like, where are they going to get those runs? Where are they going to, get that help in the bullpen? Where are they going to get that, that guy to replace Brian Bayo in the rotation? There's none of those questions. Like, like they're here. They're here. Should they also have like a big bopper bat? Yeah, at least one. That would. I would say it should have been a bigger priority, maybe. There's no question about that. Now they know. But like that idea that like they're good on paper. Like, it's not just that they're good on paper. Like, they've executed at times too. So like they shouldn't be ass, but they are. That's why it's very, very frustrating. It's so easy to overreact to one game.
I think your point about the record is also another thing because that does build in this. I think they're just a bad team, but they feel like they should be good, and the AL is performing so historically bad that it's keeping you in the race. But like, normally, like the Mets, for example, they entered today 8 games under 500. We were 9. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or maybe I entered yesterday, whatever it was. We're in the same spot as the Mets.
Yeah,
but they are in a much more competitive NL. For them, it's just, all right, this is over. We're, the rational person would say this team is not going to figure it out. We're going to move on to next year.
Would you say they're a bad team?
I mean, this year, yeah. On paper, they're not.
It just, I don't know.
They're not going to make the playoffs. That's, I guess, what I'm saying. Is that the question? I mean, that's a better question for me to answer. Are they a bad team? I don't know. That's subjective. But, like, are they a postseason team? I would say no. Are the Red Sox a postseason team? Because to your point about, well, they're only 4 games back, they're also the 9th team in the American League standings.
Yeah.
So climbing that many spots is the bigger problem than the actual games back conversation.
It is. It's just, I don't know. This team hasn't shown me that they're bad. Like, in my mind, if they were all on an individual level doing what they were supposed to be doing, right? Like the way we look at the pitching staff.
Yeah.
If we looked at the position player group the same way, basically other than like Bayo. If we looked at if we had the same lens on when we talked about them and said, yeah, like everybody's cooking. Everybody's doing exactly what we are expecting them to do. This team wouldn't be bad. So in my mind, it's like they're not. I can't look at them and say, well, they're doing the best they can. They're playing to their potential, and this is what they've given us. If that was the case, then you could very easily be like, they're just not a good team. They're trying their best. They're giving you their best results, and their best results are 27 and 36. Like the answer instead is like things just aren't going their way enough where they're 27 and 36. Like there's been flashes. They've looked better. They made like personnel changes. They made coaching staff changes. I think they're moving in the right direction. It's slow and steady, but I think it's moving in the right direction. I can't say definitively like this is a bad team and they're not going to the postseason and they're not worth watching and they're not going to get better. I think it's like there's way too many factors at play to say that confidently.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think when you say good or bad, I'm thinking postseason. And when you're 9 games under 500 with 99 games to go.
99 games ago.
But 9 games under 500 is, I wouldn't say insurmountable, but we're getting there. And it would take quite the run. Ched Tracy talked about it. Usually runs are when they go on, something like a 9-10 game win streak that's usually fueled by incredible pitching during that stretch. And this team has very good starting pitching, so that's very, very possible. But they're already dominating, from a starting pitch. Like if you look at the ERAs of the starting pitchers this year,
yeah,
very, very impressive. If you go just one by one down the line, so that should have happened by now. We talked about it before. If they had averaged, at league average offense, they would have been like, I think it was like 30-2 and 14 or something at one point. Like I don't know what it is now. As much as I'm saying everything, there's really not a lot to. A lot of the pieces that are in place can be in place next year. This isn't a weird year where you have like 3-4, big time impending free agents where you have to make this crazy buy sell decision. I think the reality is you can kind of almost buy the deadline for the future and maybe do kind of like a buy sell thing, which I know people won't love. But if there's pieces that just don't fit, you can improve your roster at the deadline, which is all I'm really thinking about right now because that's the next step.
I just don't think these Sox are going to be the Sox we see at the deadline. Like this 9 games under 500 Sox is not going to be where they are at the deadline. I fucking hope. Like,
what do you think?
My heart of hearts says like they'd be 4 or 5 games under.
Okay.
And that they would buy.
Yeah.
I think Craig also has his back up against the wall and like feels the heat and like thinks that he has to buy. And I think that he would push the chips in and like do something stupid.
He does have to buy, yeah.
But I would also be okay if they are 15 games under 500 and they do sell it off. Because then you're telling me what you are, like, the end of what was it, 2024, right? 24. Like Mickey Gasper is up here, like old Mickey Gasper before he knew how to hit a baseball. In those last couple weeks of September, and it's like this is over. But like there's no aspirations here. But I'll watch this guy who's from Litchfield or Londonderry, and like. That's cool. Like, tell me what you're doing, but don't.
What's the storyline?
It's like being in a situationship, and it's like the Red Sox are leading me on to be like make this serious, and I'm like, are you even ready to commit? Are you for real about us, or like, are you still out there having your fun, living your 20s? Are you still doing that? Craig,
just like, are you still partying it up like you were in your 20s, Craig?
God, he was such a fucking party animal, man. Do you remember?
Dude, oh,
remember that shit we used to get up to with Craig?
Yeah, back in his day.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Cannot talk about it, but I remember it. I don't
Do you know
know.
how
I
you
just
knew he
want,
was a good time? Is because everyone on the team, when he was on the team, used to talk about how smart he was.
yeah. There you go. What's Craig like? Oh man, smart guy. You know.
On the Yale. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. I
Is there
just want
anything
him
to talk
to.
about on
I,
this on
I
the series, or are we doing a big picture episode?
I think we're doing a big picture episode. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
I
like
kind of agree.
there's some things to hit on. Like we have some let's talk about it things that we'll get to in time here. I'm going to need you to send me the link to that. Actually, now that I bring it up, I can't find it. But no, I just that was something that I really focused on this week because in Game 3 today on Sunday, Game 2, I guess, whatever, it doesn't matter. There was a little bit of old school Sox that popped in. By old school, I mean the Red Sox of April and early May, the Cora 2026 Sox, where once they went down 1-0, I thought, oh, that's it. That's going to be tough to come back from. And again, Schlittler's on the mound, so, is what it is. But even after they tied it up and the belly homer, I don't like calling him belly. After Cody Bellinger hit a solo home run, again, I thought, what are the odds? Like they're not gonna be able to put one up on the board, and that's just not where you want to be. I don't want to be reverting back to those Red Sox of old because it has felt like we were past that. And maybe this is an unfair example to point to because we're talking about, at least in the starter, one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. But regardless, not the feeling you want to have. I wasn't expecting to take a step forward in a series with the Yankees, but taking a step backwards, I also didn't expect. So that sucks a little bit.
But to be clear, that was like an emotional step back because they did just go 1-1, which is actually for them much better than what they've done on the year.
It brings their winning percentage up. Yes,
correct. Yeah. So they performed over their typical performance this year.
They did what we expected them to do. It's just a matter of like when they show up, when the bats get hot, how reliable they are. How much faith do you have in this team? They've shown you who they. I don't know if they've shown us who they are. They've shown us something they can do, but like what example do I point to say like this one is the real you? If some days you want to go to the club, Scott, and some days you want to come over to your old buddy Joe's house and watch The Notebook and drink some tea, I would think, which one of these is Scott? Like, which one of these is the real you?
Yeah, the first one.
But I also love those evenings that we have together from the second one.
Yeah, that's never happened though.
It's okay. Yeah. Go ahead and gaslight me, bro. Yeah, I don't know, man. The Red Sox are a complex individual, I guess. Just show me who you are. Just start sucking. You know what I'm saying?
It's easier than winning, that's for sure.
I'm not sure it is because I think they would have done it if they just. Can you imagine? Go back to like 24, 23, 22. They're all the same year. Mm-hmm. Go back to one of those seasons. And 3 weeks leading up to the deadline, they just lose out. 16 games, just. And they really sell. Like, really sell. At a meaningful time. We're in a different position today.
I mean, if you think about it, they've done so many buy-sell years. And in one of those weird ones, that's how we got Willier.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a really weird one.
Yeah. Well, that's how they've all been because they've been middling team for so long that we have been doing this every year, where it's been like, are they out of it? Like right now, to like your point, like they're fifth place in the AL East right now. Like this is the most they've shown themselves in previous. Now there's a lot of time left, but as of right now, I don't really think it's that hard of a decision. The only decision that I think it's complicated is that Craig has to buy, and that there's really outside of Chapman no like logical trade candidate. Like I mean, Sonny Gray's not going to get you anything because of how much he costs. You know, Wilson Contreras is going to be here for, if you have him under contract multiple years, you'd think you'd want to keep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's got a weird contract and he's controllable. So do you dump him for no reason? Like, I don't know. If you think you're going to be good again next year, you probably don't dump him. So there's just there's not an easy way to blow this team up, as weird as that sounds. There's the tradable pieces that you talk about are also largely controllable. So if you think this is a team that, this was a team where Roman Anthony was hurt all year and Crochet was hurt all year, and, everyone else is kind of coming back, and if you run it back again, you might get a different result with just that one. You need to get a right-handed bat, but it's like that's not a blow-up situation. So that's my biggest problem with the sell. Like, I feel like they've positioned themselves. Think about it this way, just from the simplest form, because I do this a lot. I used to do this a lot more when I was writing. If I were to think about a logical trade candidate for any team, but say the Red Sox, like say I was looking for a reliever, and I go and I find a guy, I go, oh, that guy would be great. And I go, oh, I don't actually know right now if the Astros are buyers or sellers. I haven't watched a lot of baseball. You would look at that and you would go, oh, okay. And if you saw this team, you go, oh, 9 games under 500 in June. Oh, they'll sell. I can write this article. Like, if you just don't overthink everything and you just look at like their record, if you just looked at the standings where the MLB is right now, if I was to go write an article and go, oh, is Mike Trout trade possible? Oh yeah, they're 24-41. And then if I did the same thing, and I went, oh yeah, the Red Sox are 27-36. Yeah, they're gonna sell. I can write about Whitlock getting traded.
Mm-hmm. I think that there is more important context though that you and I do know. Like,
agreed.
Craig's situation, like Craig's place. Like, I don't.
He cares about that because he literally he killed an entire pitching staff for just to live another day. We know he will dump this franchise for another year. He'll trade anyone. He'll trade for anyone. He'll get rid of every prospect to keep his job. At least that's how I feel about it after what he did with Cora.
At a certain point, you'd think that would have a negative impact on his job.
Long term, but if you can Dombrowski this thing starting now, you can get 3 more years. Like if
Dombrowski
you just start trading,
starting that, what? Just spend all John's money
and trade all prospects that aren't named Benintendi or Devers. Which honestly, I mean, if you pick the right guys, great.
Hey, listen, yeah, sure. I mean, I still think that like the logical move in terms of a sell is to free up the logjam, right? Like, is to free up the outfield logjam, get rid of one of those guys, probably Jaron. And then, like, it's very weird to go from, okay, does Craig try to save his job by pushing the chips in and trying to go for a postseason run? It's really hard to then argue, no, he's going to trade what's probably the face of the team next to, Crochet and Roman. It's like that's really hard to picture in my mind that like Craig would make that hard of a transition. But that's kind of the other path, because like you said, like if they do like a Whitlock Chapman sell off, it's like, yeah, okay, sure. I'm sure like if you combined the return of those two guys, I bet you there is at least one person who will come back to the Boston Red Sox who will contribute in the coming years. Meaningfully, immediately, in a large way, all of those things are probably not likely.
Yeah. It is interesting that the logical thing for Craig is probably fix the logjam, bring in a right-handed bat, and listen on all relievers. and oddly catchers, which we'll get to. But listen on the surpluses, see if you can make a move for the future, but also like make some additions that will help this current offense.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to get into the let's talk about it.
You want to get into let's talk about it?
I put it in the chat.
Is it time for let's talk about it? That's the question. That's the thing everybody's been asking me.
How could we possibly answer that? What is, do you have
special, who could it be? His job's too big for you and me. Do you remember that? Did you ever watch Higglytown Heroes?
And I couldn't even. I haven't heard of any of those words.
It's time for Let's Talk About It.
Let's talk about it. The Boston Red Sox reportedly placed hitter amid sixth season in Boston on trade block. Who do you think that could be? I'll tell you. With three catchers on the big league, with three catchers on the big league roster, Carlos Narvaez, Connor Wong, and Mickey Gaspard, Boston's surplus is drawing interest. The Athletics' Jen McCaffrey wrote on Saturday, quote, the Red Sox are shopping Wong in particular, according to a league source, and have also fielded calls on relievers Aroldis Chapman, Justin Slayton, and Garrett Whitlock. She went on to say that the Red Sox have said for now that they have no interest in dealing anyone from that bullpen trio. That is now when we talk about an impact move, trading a guy like Jarren Duran, trading a guy like Rafael Devers, trading a guy like Mookie Betts, trading a guy like Connor Wong.
Same thing.
It might seem like a sell at the moment because it is. But oh boy, your return. Oh boy. Once you guys see what's coming back for Connor Wong, I think you'll all be on old Craig's side. I think you'll understand why he was fielding calls. I've said before, and my actual take on this, Scott, is that I think they are going to put off a Wong deal because it actually is bad PR to do anything with Connor Wong in trades because it just does resurface the Mookie trade.
Do they actually care about that? I mean, I
think so.
I don't think they would have traded Devers if that was the case, or done anything they've ever done, like trade Kyle Harrison, trade literally any move. If they were cared about PR, I don't think they would have done anything they've done in the last decade.
I think they're a PR firm. They're just bad at it. They're just bad at doing their own PR. That's what I'm saying.
So that might be they might take the stance of, you know what, let's just get this over with. You know, let's get all of the pieces of the Mookie deal out of here, and that would be that. By the way, he's the only one left. A little bit about Connor Wong, in case you guys at home haven't learned enough about him in his 6 years on the Boston Red Sox, the big league level, by the way, which is crazy. Connor Wong, he is 30 years old, but he's on one of those lifetime deals where even though he is in year 6, he's still signed through 2028, so he has 2 more years of team control.
How is that fucking possible?
Don't know. You hear that, opposing suitors? 2 more years of team control. This is a controllable catcher you're getting here, hitting from the right side. He is hitting .264 with 8 doubles, no triples or home runs, 10 RBIs. He has a .713 OPS and a 104 OPS plus. Joey, what is a league average OPS plus?
I think it's 100.
So if he's in above that, this is an above average hitter we're selling you guys. And the only thing I would ask is don't check his Savant page, because even in the 2024 season where he hit 13 home runs and looked like a very competent offensive player, his exit velocity, barrel percentage, all those things, a lot of blue. His page doesn't look all that different from 2024 to 2026. It is freezing in pretty much all facets, offensively and defensively. He's got 51, 51st percentile speed, though. So if you want a fast catcher that's more offensive than defensive and not very good at either, Craig is listening. Actually, he's calling you about it. He's shopping. Let me rephrase. Yeah. So that's all I got on Connor Wong. Real question, how do you feel if they do go ahead and move Wong? How comfortable are you with Mickey Gaspard and Carlos Narvaez? Because works for me. I like Mickey every day.
For this year?
Yeah.
For this year, sure. But like, here's the thing. Like, look at that whole trio. Like Narvaez, Wong, Mickey Gasper. Like, I like all three of these players. I need to make that really clear. I like all three of them. I genuinely do. Even Connor Wong. He's very clearly in third, but I do like him.
Yeah, the even was disrespectful, but go
It
ahead.
was disrespectful. I would still argue that that's a trio of like popsicle sticks and glue a little bit. Like there is a real possibility for all of them to not be reliable one day to another. Like obviously Narvaez is like the guy that you lean on the most, but also he was a guy who a year and a half ago, you would not have said is going to be your everyday starting catcher. So I don't know. And I mean, and his bat has fluctuated quite a bit. Is he living up to expectations offensively? No, not really. Mickey Gasper, we've been pretty clear about. You can't expect anything from everything Mickey Gasper gives you is a bonus, and it's awesome, and you should be happy that.
And it is odd. That's the exact mindset. This is a surplus, and we're happy about it.
But making them your core, saying, okay, let's take one of these popsicle sticks away, and it's probably strong enough with the two of them. Yeah, it makes me a little nervous. Am I okay with it for this year? Yeah, but that kind of gives away how I feel about this year.
Well, this year also I would say about this catching situation, you don't feel like there is a – if you had to pick one, you're picking Narv. But to me, there's no one in this group that I want to lose or I'm afraid to lose long term that I'm thinking about after this year. Like Narv's going to be here after this year, almost certainly. Like but there's two catchers and he should probably be the second one. So
yeah.
That's why, to me, whether it's Wong, Mickey, whatever, I say ride the hot hand, give it to Mickey. Neither player is going to be probably a meaningful contributor in 2027, so let's just have fun with it.
I mean, you saw it today in the Sunday game. The Yankees were running on Mickey Gasper with
that's
just impunity.
That's becoming a huge problem. Yeah, but Connor Wong's no better. That's Connor Wong.
He is to some extent.
Yeah, better, sure, but subpar. Narv is the only one that can control the run game with three. Is my point. So you're not really losing anything there, and you might as well ride the hot hand.
Next up here, dude, there's something I really wanted to talk about with you, and I'm really glad that you wrote it down here. This comes from Bob Nightingale. Maybe you've heard of him. Small little content creator. Go and give him a follow on x.com. Bob Nightingale, like the bird. He wrote, quote, Boston Red Sox closer Aroldis Chapman is expected to join his 8th different team and potentially be in the postseason with his 6th different team. He is the top reliever available on every contender's target list, converting 28 consecutive saves dating back to last season, one shy of his career record. End quote. Expected to join a different team is obviously the phrase, the turn of words that has got people's attention. My take on this, Scott, especially having come right off the Jen McCaffrey piece that we just discussed, wherein the Red Sox said that they don't necessarily have interest in trading.
Little source off.
Let me tell you, those words seem like Bob being Bob. That's kind of, I read it and I was like, oh, people are going to think that that's like based on something. That's just Bob.
I don't know, because here's what I'm thinking. From the genuinely looking at the trade deadline right now, I believe Aroldis Chapman will be the number one most coveted player available. And so when you have a team that is 9 games under 500 with a highly coveted asset at the trade deadline, it's going to be very hard to retain said player, especially when he's 38 and he's not exactly a cornerstone of your franchise or whatever I'm supposed to say in place of those words, which were not right. Little details about Aroldis Chapman. So this is kind of funky. vesting option for next year. So this is not a pure free agent. And in fact, this should help the Red Sox's case. He's owed $13 million next year in this vesting option, should he meet his requirements. And all he has to do is pitch 40 innings and pass a year-end physical. If he does that, the Red Sox can retain him in 2027 for $13 million, which is an absolute steal for someone who has been arguably the best pitcher in the American League. He is at 19 2/3 innings, so we're 1/3 of the way through the season, halfway to that goal. Very high likelihood that he will hit that. Oh, and he has an 0.46 ERA. So yeah, all of that to say, we're in good shape to have it. If the team thinks they're in a rebuild situation or retooling situation, you probably want the best closer in baseball, not named Mason Miller. But at the same time, this is based on nothing, but I'd be stunned if an Aroldis Chapman trade doesn't start with a top 100 prospect, maybe a top 50 prospect. It could be higher. I mean, Mason Miller got the number 3 prospect in baseball. Obviously, there's a lot more years and youth and expectations. Absolutely. But if that gets you the number 3, could he get you the number 25? I don't think that's outlandish.
I don't know how crazy that is. I don't. I mean, when you put it like that, when you really sit and think about it, anything short of like belief of having a deep postseason run, and you hold on to Aroldis Chapman, it's irresponsible.
It probably will be in terms of what packages we're going to hear that were offered. The only thing is that makes this even moderate. I wouldn't even be talking about anything else if not for this vesting option, because you are getting, as of right now, what you have with Aroldis Chapman is a guaranteed win after 8, whenever you call upon it. That's genuine. That's something that is not even, that there's years where that's not possible in the entire league. And right now, that's what you have with Chapman. And you could opt into that next year when you are building next year's roster, which you do have expectations for with what you were hoping to have a fully healthy Crochet and Roman Anthony. You have the ability to grab Roman Anthony next year and say, we'll take another year of if we're winning after 8, we win the game. That's the only thing that muddies this up for me. Outside of that, it's 100% he's gone.
Can you guess Aroldis Chapman's ERA plus this year? I'll give you a hint. It's a number I've never seen.
850.
890.
Pretty close.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, so he's almost 9 times better than a league average reliever is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Or pitcher. They don't split it, but yeah.
Basically 9 times better than the average pitcher. 9 times more effective. It's crazy. Like
so
said,
could you get a package?
But
yeah. Could you get meaningful contributors potentially back for that, you think?
For an 890? Yeah.
Probably. But I don't know. I still think it's a real conversation because
I just don't think that Bob is basing it on anything. I think Bob just said, like, hey, people are talking about Aroldis Chapman moving. And I think people are taking it as Bob said that his sources are saying the Red Sox are going to move Chapman. It's like, I don't think that the Red Sox are taking calls yet. Yep.
I think there's a difference here between both reports, and they both make sense. I think McCaffrey's thinking about it from the Red Sox standpoint. What will Craig do? What would Craig do? I think what Nightingale's doing as a national reporter, and I think this makes sense, is basically saying, I'm hearing how many teams want Aroldis Chapman,
a lot of people
and
want
what
Chapman.
The package could be, and he's going to get moved. And I think I think both perspectives make sense, but I in this case, I agree. I don't think he's hearing that the Red Sox are interested in trading him, but I think he's hearing the national perspective of, wow, there's going to be a lot of interest here, which lines up with the obvious, and so I do think it's a noteworthy tidbit. Though I don't think it's Nightingale, having some crazy inside sources. It's just him talking to teams in general and understanding the landscape of the trade deadline, which is valuable.
I agree. That does make sense when you put it like that. They is expected, but he's not hearing shit from the Sox. Speaking of Bob, though, Bob published something else that does concern us that we got to talk about. He wrote, quote, Diamondbacks second baseman Ketel Marte, who the D-backs tried to trade during the winter, continues to frustrate segments of the organization by opting to take days off. He sat last week when Shohei Ohtani pitched against the Diamondbacks and then played the next day and hit a walk-off homer, end quote. First, let's talk about this. Scott, how many games have the Diamondbacks played?
Yeah, so this is really dumb. They played 65.
And you want to guess how many games he has played in?
Well, the answer is 61 because I was
61.
Yeah. So it's a little confusing.
Yeah. So that's most of them.
So do you know what the pace would be?
I would guess like 149 games.
152. So
yeah. Oh, dude, this guy, he doesn't want to try. You know what I mean? Like it's.
I mean, if my superstar bat only plays 152 games, I'm all right with that. It was actually I did the math. It was 151.9. So even if you don't want to round up, call it a clean 151. That's okay with me.
His last 4 seasons, he's played 126, 136, 150, 137.
And those have been injuries, obviously. So I mean, he's
played 125 plus games every year. Is what I'm saying. Like, he's not milking an injury or anything like that. He's never done any of that. So if that's true, Bob, that's insane.
We'll take him. So the Red Sox, should be interested. They were interested in the offseason. His price, I would think, has gone down a little bit, just based on, you have him for less. So here's the Marte situation. So he's hitting, entering Sunday, he was hitting 250 with 24 extra base hits, 11 homers, 37 RBIs. He had a 754 OPS and a 109 OPS plus. He's also in the 89th percentile with 3 outs above average at second base. He's a switch hitter. So that would solve a lot of problems for the Red Sox offensively and defensively as a switch hitting second baseman. You moved Meyer to short, and then who cares about everything else? And then, his average right now, some of his numbers right now, even though he is still, 9% above average, not quite what you would expect from an offensive player of his caliber. But if you go to his Savant page, not that everything's based on Savant, very red, 302 expected batting average. I don't know how much weight you put into that, but he is barreling balls. He has a very hard average exit velocity, barrel rate, hard hit rate. Things just aren't falling his way through 2 months. So I would expect an ascension in his statistics the rest of the year. He is already 32, and the problem is that for the next 4 years, he's going to cost you about $15.46 million a year in the luxury tax. Though if there's a trade, those numbers get all thrown around. So who really knows? But it'll be in that range. And he has a player option for 2031. So the only thing is, he's 32. You could have him through 37. He's a undersized second baseman that could provide some wear and tear. But for this year, he would solve a lot of problems, and for next year,
he would have solved a lot of problems if the Red Sox got him in the winter, which is what they should have done. They should have already got.
But I will say it would have been Meyer and one of earlier Tolley, which Meyer you're thinking and going, well, that might not have been the worst thing in the world. Earlier Tolley, those guys' values have gone up. So I don't even because of what it would have cost. I don't know that the right move was to trade for him, but I will say the increased friction based on something that is genuinely stupid helps the Red Sox because they were already pretty close to getting a deal done. They had the guys that would have got it done just decided to say no. You would think that price tag might come down. We're getting closer and closer to just wanting to kind of maybe they just in a fresh start scenario for Marte where the Diamondbacks just go, I'm sick of this, and maybe they'll take a little less.
It seems like they've been naturally barreling towards that, and who knows? Maybe eating some money becomes part of the conversation because I would imagine.
Well, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because that brings up another point, which was, we talked about last week how the Red Sox are willing to potentially eat a bad contract. Actually, I don't even know if we talked about that or if we just posted on social. But the fact that they are the Red Sox are allegedly willing to eat money for a talented right-handed bat. So they might not even need to, we might pay all of it. It's not a crazy contract monetarily. So it's a little long, but it's not a crazy price tag. So I don't even think they have to do that. And they could still, as long as the prospect compensation lowers quite a bit, because, we're not talking about Frank Arias or Marcelo Meyer or Tolley or Early anymore. But if they're willing to get under that, that second tier, this can make a lot of sense.
It's just interesting because like Ketel Marte doesn't seem like the kind of guy to like push you over the edge and make the push. Whereas he instead, to me, always kind of felt like a guy that would have been part of implanting this like veteran core.
Yeah.
Like a leader, a guy who's been there. And I don't know. I think his value is there as much as it is on the field. So,
he's also. I mean, if you think about it from the Red Sox perspective, you don't need it. This is not a Yordan Alvarez, trade idea, but it is something where you solve you get the right-handed bat. You also get a left-handed bat in the right situation, but you solve the right-handed bat, impact right-handed bat equation, and it's at a position that makes things easier. Unlike where Yordan, you're talking about a DH, and now you're even further in this stupid hole of too many outfielder DHs. I think with Marte, it would work positionally, handedness wise, and provide that boost that you need offensively.
It would be really funny.
It doesn't hurt your defense. Go
ahead. Just to go back to the Yordan thing that you mentioned, like the idea of a Yordan trade. Imagining a world where the Red Sox do get Yordan Alvarez and then don't make the postseason, and Yordan just like wins an MVP technically here after being here for like a month and a half and then missing the postseason.
I actually, this wasn't part of the let's talk about it, but I did a trade thing on Baseball Now with me and Pat McAvoy. And we talked about kind of it's going to cost a lot more than people realize. The most interesting thing for me, we talked about Jarren Duran, Franco Arias, and Anthony Ianson, who would be your best hitting prospect, your best pitching prospect, and Jarren Duran for one player. But he is under contract for under $20 million. Well, I guess when they restructure the trade. Right now his luxury tax hit is 19.1, but $26 million is the actual number, just under 27. For the next 3 years before he's a free agent. And the thing that blew my mind to kind of like make this make sense in my head is he is just months older than David Ortiz was when we acquired him.
That's strange.
You can just and he's on the field, probably been the closest thing to David Ortiz since he's retired in terms of just numbers. Like right now, he is hitting .316 with 13 doubles, 22 home runs, 48 RBIs, 43 walks to 49 Ks, and he has a 1,084 OPS.
The cleanest 200 OPS plus. Just he's 100% better than the average hitter.
And he's a guy that, I mean, is going to dominate with the Green Monster, but you're not going to have any issues when he pulls one being like, oh, is that going to get over the bullpen? Like, no. If he connects, we're good. It doesn't matter what the wind conditions are. It doesn't matter if it's more towards the pole or towards the bullpen. Like, it'll get over. So you could realistically, for a big package this offseason, trade for David Ortiz in his prime again. That is on the table for the Red Sox. That's all I'm saying.
That's it. That's all you're saying. Nothing too bold. Just that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my hopes up about it. I want to look at it and think about it. What happens to um, 2027. What happens to guys who are still like in their RB years or pre-RB years if 27 completely doesn't happen?
I would imagine if 27 doesn't happen, you would get the year back. Like that would not count. Like team control you would not lose. Like you would not get a year service time. I have a feeling though. Say they play 100 games or 60 games instead of 162, they will get the full year. I think if they play one game, they'll get the full year. But if the whole season's out, yeah, I don't think you could possibly say that there was a year of service time.
Yeah. So you could have them through 2030.
Sure, but then you just get 28 or 31-year-old Jordan instead of 28-year-old. Like that's the only change that happens.
Yeah.
You don't if they don't play the season, you don't get them that year. So it's like the same, But I think the worst scenario is if they play like 40 games and then you lose a year of control. Like the 2020.
Imagine how stoked we'd be once they announced that we were getting those 40 games.
Well, that's the other thing. By the way, that's something that's going to be part of the trade. I don't think it's going to. People are talking about how people are going to go more. Teams are going to go more all in this year because of that or whatever. I don't think that's the case. I do think guys like Chapman, guys like Jordan, who have additional years of control. Like Chapman is the most interesting one because he only has next year.
Yeah.
In a normal situation, you would value that extra year substantially. I don't know that how you could possibly value that additional year in the same way you would in a normal year. So
it's very strange.
You're going to have, I would think there would be some sort. And the other thing that's interesting about it is some teams will probably say, we don't care about that. We're going to charge think of it the same.
Yeah, we're pushing.
And then other teams will go the exact other extreme and say, we're not going to give you anything extra for that year that we don't know about. And then the myriad of teams will be in different parts of the spectrum in the middle. So that could be a very interesting part of the deadline as well, is that there's going to be 30 different ways of thinking about that.
Yeah. And it's impossible. It's hard to imagine that his price doesn't rise because some teams value it.
Yeah, it only takes one.
It takes one to create a market. So, I guess it would take two to create a market, but whatever. Okay, folks, let's look ahead at the upcoming games at Tropicana Field. Dude, may I say this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to playing a game at the Trop.
You're playing?
I'm looking forward to watching some Red Sox baseball at Tropicana Field.
Hey, new roof. Can't wait to see what that's like. I heard it's the color of a baseball now. That seems like an interesting
No,
decision.
It was the color of a baseball. Now it's two different colors. They made it better.
So it changes color. So if a ball was being hit in the air, you would see it.
It's like stripes, like a circus tent.
No, what I'm saying is like if a ball were to go up in the air, the shadow of the ball would change every few seconds because it would hit different colors.
You'd be more able to see it because it's moving past panels. Like it's helpful.
I don't know that I would love that.
They fixed it, okay?
I don't know that they did.
They fixed it.
It seems like you're a team employee right now, but
they're playing 3 games at the best field in Major League Baseball, Tropicana. Stop on by.
America's most beloved ballpark.
Yeah, America's second most beloved ballpark. Connolly Early versus Ian Seymour. Seymour. What is this? Wait. Ian Seymour. Seymour Early. More like I'd like to see more girlies in the city of Tampa Bay. How about that?
Fun fact about Ian Seymour, he went to high school in Shrewsbury.
Game 2 is going to be Peyton Tolley versus Nick Martinez. Yep.
I was also at his debut, which was also I believe when Tristan Casas' knee exploded. If I'm thinking of the right game.
You were at that game? You saw Tristan Casas explode?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Were you sitting
Yeah.
down the third baseline like you do?
Yep.
Yeah. Really low.
Yeah.
I went to the Fisher Cats game today. I was sitting right near there, but at their stadium, and I was like, "Wow, this is like where Scott sits when he goes to Fenway Park."
Yeah, but I will say, and I just specifically remember the way Costas like tripped over the bag. I was like, I don't know how he could possibly be that injured from what just happened.
Mm-hmm. And then you saw the video, and we're like, "Holy shit, his knees exploded."
Well, like you have to see it in slow mo because I still don't quite understand. I feel like someone could do that 100 times and not have.
I feel like his
damage
knee went like backwards, right?
That's not the reaction. But I'm saying he just like stepped on the bag weird, pretty much, right? Like I just remember being like, I don't know how that caused such significant damage. Is my point.
Yeah.
In the moment, I just remember being like, that seemed fine. I think he'll be okay. And then they got the stretcher, and I was like, it's not great. Anyway. Yeah, Ian Seymour beat us in extras in his debut. Fun fact.
That was fun. It is a fun fact.
In relief,
he lefties.
Pitched, yeah, he went in. He pitched in relief, in extras in his debut.
Mm-hmm.
He beat us. That was fun. Good stuff.
Sox shot at redemption against Seymour. Game 2 is going to be Peyton Tolley, Nick Martinez in a battle for the ERA. As Peyton Tolley is rocking a 2.28 and Nick Martinez is rocking a 2.29.
Oh, so we're good.
That's kind of
we
fun.
We got the better player.
Right? Yeah, we got the better pitcher on the mound. Yeah. Yeah, that's at 6:40 on Tuesday. And then Wednesday matinee at 1:10. A Wednesday 1:10 game at the Trop. We are going for lowest attendance possible. This is also, this is the Bayo game. So who knows? It's a TBD right now.
It's a Jake Bennett game.
It's the Jake Bennett game versus Drew Rasmussen. So he's going to pitch at 1 p.m. in the Trop on his starting debut, if that's what they do.
I don't think it is his starting debut.
Did he start when he came up?
Yeah.
I was just going back and listening to the episode where we talked about Jake Bennett's debut, and I was like, it's amazing how I remember actually none of this.
2 games, 2 starts. I was at one of them. He's fine.
There's already headlines that like they're expected to call him up. It's like,
Chad Tracy was like, he's the overwhelming favorite. I don't know the exact words he used, but he was like, he said something along the lines of like, that's the obvious option.
Like,
and then he talked about him for 3 minutes.
Yeah. The Boston Globe says that it is expected to be an extended run. That this isn't like call him up, whatever. It's probably going to be here. He got scratched from his start in Worcester today on Sunday, if you needed further confirmation. So,
yeah, he's coming.
He's coming. So that's your matchups, dude. 6:40 Monday, 6:40 Tuesday, 1:10 Wednesday, and then an off day on Thursday.
Good to know for scheduling. And against the first place Rays.
Yep. The last place Boston Red Sox. It's the first place Rays.
How are they good every year?
I saw something recently that said, God, I forget what year it was since, but it was in the last 10 years. I want to say it was since 2016 that in winning percentage, the Rays are second only to the Dodgers in Major League Baseball. Like, that's stunning.
Yeah, they've done nothing with that.
They got to a World Series and then pulled Blake Snell.
Yep. They got to a World Series in the COVID year and lost.
Mismanaged themselves into a loss. Like, they should have won the World Series. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? Keep on trying.
We don't have nothing we can do.
Nothing you and I can do. No.
No.
I have the Sox winning this series because they're on the road, and that's when
Ooh.
they're really close knit. Man, I feel bad for IKF for that. Like for that.
I don't.
That
That
they're
was the most.
still talking about it. They're still
Well, that was
talking about it.
it was a quote that could have only led to problems. Like, could
I mean,
he
I think he was.
explain himself a little bit? He would have been
Yeah.
fine.
I think he like was trying to say some shit to like get the boys going and like be the guy with a voice
Yeah.
and like you know what, I'm not going to be here too long, and like I don't mind burning some bridges, and they need a guy to say something. And then I think he was like, I can't say all too much. He kind of like backed down and was mega vague about it, but people are still talking about it. You turn on the radio, they are still talking about it. So I'm going to take the Sox, taking 2 out of 3 from the pesky Rays in Tampa, Florida.
I'm going to go 1 out of 3 because I just this team, man, it's been pissing me off, and I no longer like you. I have reached a point of not a lot of optimism for the boys.
I mean, it's early Tolley Bennett. It is some young pitchers out there, but
I have a ton of faith in those guys.
Yeah.
But I also have a ton of faith in the Rays pitching.
You're not wrong. Any update on the fellows here before we get out of here?
Romy Gonzalez is swinging.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually good at baseball. People forget about that. Really good at baseball.
Really
I don't
good.
know if he's going to be a flash in the pan guy or if he's going to come back and be exactly what he was last year. That'll be interesting to find out. But he is following through with one hand now, which is the big step, I guess. And he'll have to do probably a lengthy assignment because he hasn't played baseball all year, didn't have spring training, all that stuff. But we're getting closer to getting him in July, I would imagine. So that would be a huge boost before the deadline. The other guys, I mean, I don't know. They're day-to-day. They're,
Yeah.
He's swinging, he's not swinging. Crochet's throwing, he's not throwing. Like, there's really not much to report there.
Roman was spotted at a Froyo place the other day. He was getting some frozen yogurt.
Roman was also at a North End Cutlets. What's that called? It's
My
right next to
Mother's
Umbria.
Cutlets.
Not Umbria. It's right next to Strega, yeah.
Yeah, My Mother's Cutlets.
Yep.
Yeah, when he's at this Froyo place, he's wearing a hat that says My Mother's Cutlets.
So clearly, that was the order of operations there.
Must have been a little 1-2 situation.
Yeah. So he's having dessert.
Well,
But-
he's feeling good enough for dessert. He's feeling good enough to play Major League Baseball. That's what I say.
That's what you do always say that, and I don't know how you force it into so many conversations organically. But it's good to know that he's going with a slightly less caloric alternative to straight up ice cream. So we know he's taking care of himself.
Yeah. Smart decision calorically. Any other updates that we got to give the folks before we get out of here, Scott? I did have one that I wanted to say. Brian Bayo, he had a quote about getting demoted. He said it was a really tough day and he cried.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And that was it. Just me. Still, that's not fair at all, but I said it anyway. So just more like, it wasn't like I understand, like the team needs me to get better. I need to be better. I got to get better. It was just like, it was really fucking hard for me.
Yeah.
It's tough for me. I was sad and I really am going through it.
Good.
All right.
Yep.
And never got to the end. So
I got
that's
one.
all I got. Yeah. What do you got?
We are significantly more active on socials.
Yes.
So, like everything.
Yeah. You'll see us there. Go
Like it
follow
all.
us on
Send
the
it to your
socials.
friends.
Send it to your mother.
Sure. That's actually
Follow
a
us
good
on the
one.
socials.
Likely a Red Sox fan, if you think about it. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
a lot of sports are passed down.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a good one.
Send our clips to your dad and say these guys are a riot.
That's great. That's our audience. That's actually probably our top demographic in terms of getting chuckles. Yeah.
You can follow us on the socials at ITM_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Scott Neville 46. Just like how many innings Aroldis Chapman is going to pitch before quitting on the Chicago White Sox. That's my prediction for the rest of the year. We will see you after this thrilling 3-game series at Florida's most beloved ballpark. For Scott Neville and Joey Copponi. Go Sox, kid.